Hi Tarot Tribe, it's Ethany, and 31 Days of Tarot is back for 2019. And I cannot believe this is going to be the fourth year that I've hosted the 31 Days of Tarot. The coffee has not kicked in this morning. For the YouTube community, and also like anyone who wants to join in. We had people last year do the challenge over on Instagram. We have people doing it on Facebook. So any sort of outlet that you want to do for this challenge, even if it's just journaling for your own practice and reflection and self, that's cool. The prompts are here for you to use them as you see fit. It is primarily a YouTube challenge, but if you can't do a video a day or you can't group a couple of videos together because you don't do YouTube, then hey, that's cool. Do your thing. So I am going to run through the prompts and give you a little bit more information on them to explain them. But you can interpret them however you like. This is an open challenge. There's no wrong way to do this. I wanted to give you all some time to get some of your stuff in order, to get some of the videos prepped, and because January is coming around pretty quickly, so you can use the hashtag 31 Days of Tarot 19. So you can use that across social media to track people who are also participating. I am going to have a daily thread over in the Tarot Readers Academy Facebook group. So if you're a part of that group, I'm going to have a daily thread where you can put your entry to the 31 Days of Tarot on there, and you can also connect with other people who are taking part and follow their channels, and get to know some more people from the community. And this is the prompts that that I've chosen for 2019. I'm looking forward to seeing their responses, and there have been some people who have helped me create some of these for this year, so I really appreciate that. So the first prompt is your 2009 two-card reading, so your energy and your major lesson. So here you're being asked to do a reading for yourself, and see what the energy for 2019 is going to hold for you and your major lesson, and talk a little bit about that. The second prompt is top 5 tarot decks of 2018. So ones that you purchased and or were released in 2018. So I know that some people purchase new decks that have been out for a while, that weren't released in 2018, but these are the ones that you have received. So your top 5 tarot decks of 2018. Number 3 is your top 5 oracle decks of 2018, so the ones that you purchased and were released in 2018. Then number 4 is top 5 tarot books of 2018, ones you purchased and or were released in 2018. Number 5 is the card that stalked you. So was there a card that kept coming up in your readings for yourself that you kept on drawing, or that came up a lot for your clients in 2018? Number 6 is the deck you finally crossed off your wish list in 2018. Number 7, your most worked with tarot deck in 2018 and why. Number 8, top 5 decks on your wish list right now. It might be a little bit hard to narrow that down, but we'll see how you go. Number 9 is your tarot goals for 2019. So do you have a tarot goal? Are you writing a book? Are you creating a deck? Are you wanting to do some learning, some continued learning? Are you going to read in a fair for the first time? Are you hoping to journal more? Like, what's your goal around tarot for 2019? Number 10 is a tarot deck that you want to work with more in 2019. So maybe you got a deck and you shelved it and life got busy and you're just like, oh man, I want to pick that up and work with that deck a lot more this year. Or next year, technically. Number 11, the oracle decks that you want to work with more in 2019. So you can pick as many as you like. I mean, try not to get yourself too overwhelmed with those two, the decks you want to work with more, both tarot and oracle. You can go through as many as you like, but there is no sort of like limit to, you can pick 2, you can pick 1, you can pick 4, it's really up to you. So the 12th one comes from Maria Hernando, and her prompt was, have you ever dealt with imposter syndrome in your tarot practice? So have you ever felt like you didn't belong, or you had some, imposter syndrome? And it's going to be interesting to see how we all respond to that one. Number 13 is from Naya Thrice, and her prompt is, from the major arcana cards, what card correlates to your sun, moon, and rising sign, and how has that resonated or played out in your life? Now, you can do this a couple of ways. You can pick them for yourself, or you can use something like the Golden Dawn's associations and what they say are the astrological signs for your sun, moon, and rising. And I will put a chart to that up at the Tarot Readers Academy Facebook group so that everyone's not running around trying to find it. And then when you've got those cards, how has that resonated with you, and how has that played out in your life? And do you see a reflection of that? So, for example, my sun sign is in Gemini, and that is the Lovers card in the tarot. So I would talk about how that's my card according to the Golden Dawn associations, and how does that play out, and talk a little bit about that. I'm not going to do that now because that's going to be for my prompt. My moon is Pisces, so it's kind of going through all of that for yourself. Number 14 is from Elizabeth Harkin, and it is, what tarot deck gives you the most insight by the way of imagery and symbology of the cards rather than intuition or basic tarot knowledge? So basically she is saying, from what I can interpret from this, what decks give you really good insight from their imagery and symbology. So if you could pick something from like something that really engages your sparks your brain and sparks it from that point of view, what is it? So we have another prompt by Naya. Number 15, what is in your tarot to go bag, your tarot travel bag? I'm looking forward to that. I travel a lot, so it'll be fun to kind of go through the travel bag for my tarot practice. Number 16, what tarot card in the deck do you look out for most when you get a new deck? And if you don't like that card, does it ruin the deck for you? So I know a lot of us have keystone cards in tarot decks that we like. When we get a new one, we're like eagerly awaiting the card that comes up because we want to see what the artist has done with that card. And often we will wait to see what that card looks like before we purchase a deck. And if it's not one that you love, does it turn that deck off for you, or does it ruin the deck for you? Number 17 comes from Jen Sankey, and it is, what is your favorite way to tarot journal? Do you use planners, apps, bullet journals? What is your favorite way to work with tarot journaling? And I love that, so thank you, Jen. Number 18 is from Lizzie Bolton. What cards relate to you personally, not just your astrological association or court cards? So we kind of have that mirror now, and it's not the sun, moon, and rising. We're just asking, what cards do you relate to personally, and why? And it can be because it's an astrological association or a court card, but what do you just feel like is you in the tarot, and is it a specific deck as well? So this one comes from Lisa Sumiyoshi, and it's number 19. If you were shipwrecked on a desert island, what 5 tarot or oracle decks would you have? What do you want to have with you, and why? Oh, that's going to be a hard one. Number 20, what is your favorite tarot spread at the moment? And if you can run through it or share it, you get even extra, points. It's not really a point system, but you get extra points. Number 21, do you use the tarot for mediumship readings? Why or why not? And if no, would you like to? Number 22, what is the one place in the world you would love to read the tarot, and why? It could be a sacred site, event, mystical shop, anything. So do you want to read tarot as the sun rises? Does it rise? I don't know if it rises. Over Stonehenge? Someone correct me on that. I've never been, so I don't know. I know it rises over Machu Picchu because I've been there. Do you want to go to Salem and read there? Do you want to read at Coachella? I mean, I don't even know if you can read at Coachella, but you get my drift. So what would you want to do there? Number 23, what is your most sassy tarot deck and what is your most gentle tarot deck and why did you pick these decks? So do you have a deck that is just like straight up going to tell you as it is, doesn't cut any corners, doesn't care if it's going to like hurt your feelings? And do you have a very gentle deck and why do you pick these? Why did you pick these decks to show us and why did you pick these decks for yourself? Number 24, what tarot card do you feel is the most understood and why? Number 25, do you have any tarot self-care rituals that are only for your personal practice? So this could be journaling, meditation, daily prompts, daily devotions, anything like that you just do for yourself and nobody else. So it's not something that you would ever do with a client or do with anybody else. Number 26, what tarot deck do you wish you could get into or vibe with but just can't and why? Now this is not an opportunity to deck create a bash. It is more about how we work with different decks and like different things. So this is a kind of you sitting in sort of a critical thinking space of kind of going, I wish I could get into that, but why? And reflecting on maybe something that is in the artistic way or something like that. But please always be kind. Number 27, how do you pick your tarot decks for readings? Number 28, what is your go-to tarot book and why? Number 29, how do you feel about tarot deck modification? Do you draw on your decks, trim the borders, or is it a no-go for you and why? And that's by, I believe that was from Daily Tarot Guy. I'll have to, if you're watching this, please let me know so I can credit you. Number 30, do you carry out predictive tarot readings? Yes, no, and why? And number 31, what questions do you most often ask the tarot for yourself and others? So this could be, I ask the tarot most this for myself, but I also, like the questions I get mostly for my clients or for other people is this. And maybe there is a real disparity there or a real kind of contrast that you want to talk about. Okay, so that's the 31 prompts. I know that's a lot. Your responses do not have to have a minimum video time. It is up to you. This is an inclusive challenge where we're sharing our collective love of tarot. I would like to foster a positive space for responses as much as possible. Actually, like there is no place for being a dickhead. Like just be nice. Like I know everyone's like, don't be like a nice police. It's like, well, I wouldn't have to be the nice police if people would just like be nice. Like what's wrong with being kind, man? Be kind to each other. Be a Care Bear. There's enough crappy things in the world. We don't need to start polluting the thing that we love with that kind of stuff. All right, off my soapbox. So thank you so much to the amazing community members who helped with some of the prompts of the challenge. I really appreciate it. There were people starting to bug me as early as late November about the 31 days of tarot. So sorry, it's taken me a little bit of time to get the video up. If you're joining us, let me know in the comments so I can follow your account and I can subscribe to you. There are so many challenges. There are so many channels on YouTube, it can get a little bit hard to find you all. So make sure you pop a comment. And even better if you can copy and paste your YouTube link, your proper channel link in the comments below so we can follow you. I think that is about it. Let me know. Come and join the Facebook group if you haven't so that we can post and share and keep everything in kind of like one, not keep it all in one space, but have it all in one space for ease. And yeah, I'll see you all soon in that, but I'll see you all for the 31 Days of Tarot in January.